guys are welcome to day 4 of our 1 week Python programming class. So before we proceed further, I would like us to recap what we did yesterday. In our previous class, we covered strings in Python. So strings are nothing but sequence of characters. You can be able to manipulate them. So we have covered some basic string methods that are built into Python, and like the uppercase, the lowercase, the find method, the replace method, and then the square bracket notation, which you can use to access a range of characters and also individual characters in your string. So with that said, in our today's class, we are going to be covering arithmetic operators in Python. So arithmetic operators are actually operators that are used to perform mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, division.
I love those mathematics by.
Yes, please pardon. So let me pop up. I think I have some images that I would like to share with you guys. Wow, today my computer is so slow. Wow, my computer is failing to
We are with you.
Just like in basic mathematics, for subtraction we have minus, for addition we have the plus sign, and for multiplication we have the asterisk, and for division we have the slash, and sorry, can you go ahead and please mute your mic, please. For division, we have the slice. For absolute division, and we also have the modulus for returning the remainder of a division. So this is actually not a percentage sign; it's called the modulus operator. And then we have floor division, which should be right below this one. Floor division, which is just double /, and then we have the exponentiation, which is the power. So these are the simple arithmetic operations that are built into Python. So we have subtraction, we have addition, we have asterisks, which is known as asterisk or star for multiplication. Then we have modulus. So this is not actually percentage; it's called modulus in programming. So we have double slash for floor division, and we have double asterisk for exponentiation. So also known as power. So let's go ahead and experiment all of them. So for addition, we simply do print like 10 plus 10. So if you run our program, we get 20. So for subtraction, you just put the subtraction sign, and then you get 0. 10 minus 10 is basically 0. So for division, we just use the slash, 10 divided by 10, and we get 1.0, which is a floating point number. And for modulus, let's say 1. For modulus, we use the percentage sign, 10 modulus 1. If we run our program, we get 0. This modulus, what happens is 10 divided by 1 is 0. So let's try divide by 3 so that we get to know what modulus is. We get 1. What modulus does is it returns the remainder of the division. We know that 10 divided by 3 is 9, remainder 1. So what modulus does, it returns the remainder of that expression. So if we divide 10 by 3, we get 9 and then remainder 1. So it returns the remainder of that expression. So, and we have flow division. Let's go ahead and run our program. We get 3. So this returns the value of the expression without the remainder. If we use a normal division, we get 3.3333 with the remainder. But if we use flow division, we get 3. So it gets rid of the remainder for us. And we have asterisk, which is power, raised to the power of, just like in basic mathematics. So 10 raised to the power of 3 is 1000. So we can perform calculations between variables as well. For example, we can define a variable x, and we can assign it to 400, and we can define a variable y, and we can assign it to 200. So we can plus y, x plus y. If we run a program, we get 600. So we can perform calculations on a variable as well. So there's another operators that are built into Python, which are called what? The comparison operators. So comparison operators are operators that are used to compare values. So it returns either true or false according to the condition. Let me go ahead and check my image if I can be able to. These are the arithmetic operators. Let me see if I have comparison operators. Okay. So in our comparison operators, we have just like in basic mathematics, we have less than, we have equal to, we have not equal to, we have greater than or equal to, we up front is greater than the right. Let's try them one by one. So for example, let's define a variable x and assign it the value, let's say 10. And let's define a variable y and assign it the value 12. So let's print x greater than y and run our program, and we get false. The reason why we're getting false is we know that x is 10 and y is 12. So, and we're asking Python interpreter, is x which is 10, greater than y, which is 12, and we get a Boolean result saying false. So let's try less than, print x less than y, and we get true. So we all know that 12 is greater than 10. So we are getting true. So the next comparison operator that we want to check is the equal. So is x equal to y? Let's try and run our program. We get false. So we know that 10 is not equal to 12. So the next operator is not equal to, which you can assign by using the exclamation mark and then equal to, not equal to. So let's print up, run our program and see. We get true. We know that 12 is not equal to 10. So the next one is greater than or equal to. So print x is greater than or equal to y. Let's run our program. We get false. So we know that x, which is 10, is not greater than or equal to y, which is 12. So that's why we're getting false. So let's try less than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then run our program. We get true. So we know that 10 is less than or equal to 12. 10 is less than or equal to 12. So that's basically all the comparison operators that we have built into Python. Let me go one more time. So we have greater than, we have less than, we have equal to, we have not equal to, we have greater than or equal to, and we have less than or equal to. So these are the basic comparison operators that are built into Python, and they are very key. So next, we are going to, there's this rule that we all know about mathematics that is built into mathematics, which is BODMAS, operator precedence. So Python also has operator precedence. So for example, let's try it out. Let's get rid of this program. So let's define a variable x and assign it the value 2 plus 3, let's say times 10. So I want you guys in the comment section, what do you think is going to be the output of this program? What do you think? Please comment out in the chat. We have 2 plus 3 times 10. What do you think will be the output of this program? So if you can hear me, I want you guys to comment in the chat box. Okay, some are saying 32. Okay, people are saying 32, 32, 32, 32. Okay, let's run the program and see. So in order to run the program, we use the print statement, print x. Let's see what we get. 32. You guys just guessed it. So how about this one? Let me try a tricky question. What if I go ahead and add bracket? What do you think is going to be the result? 2 plus 3 in a bracket times 10, let's say minus 3. Take a look at the questions one more time, and then I'll go ahead and see the chat box. 2 plus 3 times 10 minus 3. What do you think the result is going to be? Some are saying 52, some are saying 50, some are saying 47. Yeah, Doda or Lifer said the bracket will take precedence. Some are saying 47. Okay, some are saying 50. So some 50, some 50, some 47, some 40. Okay. So let's go ahead and run the program one more time and see. So the answer is 47. So what Python basically does is the bracket takes precedence, just like let me check the name. Just like Doda or Lifer said, in Python, we have this rule of BODMAS. The bracket Python interpreter is going to evaluate the bracket first, and then it's going to multiply it by 10 and then subtract 3 from it, which is going to be 47. So these are the rules. Let me type, since we are having problem with our images, let me type for you guys. So these are the rules. We have exponentiation. Sorry, first we have bracket. Then we have exponentiation. We have exponentiation. Then we have multiplication or division. And then finally, we have addition or subtraction. So Python interpreter is going to check for brackets, then it's going to finally it's going to check for addition or subtraction. So this is basically it. So we have logical operators in Python. So let's take a look at them as well. So logical operators are, we have 3 logical operators. We have AND, as you can see, is highlighted orange, which indicates that it's a built-in, it's built into Python. We have O, and we have NOT. So these are the 3 logical operators that are built into Python. So AND return true if both operands are true. So let me clarify what an operand is. A lot of you might be wondering what an operand is. So an operand, for example, if I say x plus y, x plus y. So this is, the 3 of them are called an expression. So the operands are just x and y. And the operator is the positive sign that is in between them is called the operator. And the 2 values by the left and the right are called operands. So AND returns true if both the operands are true. For example, let's go ahead and try. Let's define a variable x and assign the variable y and assign the value false. So let's print x and y. So what do you think the output is going to be? What do you think the output is going to be? Since I said AND returns true if both the operands are true. So x is true, y is false. So I printed x and y. What do you think the output is going to be? So some people are saying false.
We just lose your audio, Yerima. Can you check your audio? We can't hear you in your microphone. I don't know if you're talking. If you are, then please try to look at your mic. We just lost you. Sorry. Can you hear me? We can't hear you. Yeah, Yerima, can you hear me? We can't hear you. Can you check your mic? Yerima, can you check your mic? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
We lost your voice, please, sir. We cannot hear you, sir.
Check your mute option on the Zoom app.
Yeah, Yerma, I don't know if you can get me. Probably you should disconnect the external mic on your system and then see if the internal mic can be effective. I think the issue should either be maybe the external mic should be interfering with the connection for the with the internal mic. So just try to disconnect the external from the system. And as well as you can go through control panel and check this thing, your device manager, and then go to sound and check the microphone volume. That could be one of the solutions, however, though.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think we
Hello.
can. Yeah, we can hear you now. It's okay now. I think we can proceed. Probably you should talk again for confirmation. Can't hear you again.
Hello.
Can hear you. Go on. Are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, you can go
I
on
can
now.
hear you guys. Okay. Let
Perfect now.
me try. Okay. So let's finish this. Let me share my entire screen. Allow. So if you can hear me clearly, then let's go. Understanding logical operators.
We're still at the place where you were still talking about x equals to true and y equals to true, and then you were running it print x. So that was where you were print x plus, was it x and y? So that was where you left us. I think so. We stopped getting
Okay, that was logical. If it is and, then it's definitely logical operators.
Yeah.
So you can see my screen now, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So let's go. So we have three logical operators in Python. So we have the AND operator, we have the OR operator, and we have the NOT operator. So AND returns true. AND returns true if both, let me get rid of this. AND returns true if both the operands are true. So let's try this one more time and see. For example, let's define a variable A is equals to, boy is equals to true, and then girl is equals to false. So if I go ahead and print boy and girl and then run my program, I see false. The reason why I'm seeing false is for this AND operator to return true. So AND is very useful in programming because there will come a time when you want to check like two data types or when you're using if statements, you can check like, okay, if this and this. Remember I told you that Python is just like a plain English. So you can check like if this and this are true, then you can go ahead and do something. And if this and this are false, then you can go ahead and do something. So logical operators are key. You really need to know this concept, and they are just simple once you get the hang of it. So in order, when and simply returns true if everything is true. If one of the operand is false, then and is never going to return true. Like in plain English, like this and this. If this and this are true, then and will return true. If this is true, but the other one is not true, and is not going to return true. As simple as that. So, for example, tomorrow we are going to be covering if statement. Like you can say if boy and girl, you understand? If boy and girl is equals to true, then do something. You understand? Then print, let's say, for example, yes. You understand? So for you to run this kind of program, you really need to know these logical operators. So in order for you to grasp tomorrow's class, which are going to be logical operators, you really need to know and, or, and then not. So the next one is, let me get rid of the program. So the next one is O. The next one is O. So for O to be true, if either of the operand is true, then either simply means if any of the operand is true, then O is definitely going to return true. So for example, let's go ahead and define a variable boy and then give it a value true. And then define a variable girl and then give her the value, let's say false. So if you go ahead and print boy, girl, for example, and if you run your program, you get true. So O simply means as just like plain English. O for O to be true, if one condition is true in between the two operands, O is definitely going to return true. Just like in English language, you say, give me money, or for example, give me cash, or transfer me money. So if one of it is true, then definitely I'm getting the cash, like money or transfer, cash or transfer. So you see, for O to be true, if one of these operands, like if either boy or girl is true, O is definitely going to return true. So let's try and change girl to true and see what's going to happen. See, if either of it is true, so boy is true, girl is true, so we are getting true. So let's change both of them to false and see what happens.
So Yerima, we're losing you again.
Okay, you cannot hear me.
The volume is low. We can hear you, but it's very low.
Okay, so how about now?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me clearly now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, but you get the AND operator, right?
Yeah, we are with you on the O. Continue with the O. The O
Okay.
is going perfect.
So for O to be true, one of it need to be true. For example, now if I change the value of boy to false and the value of girl to false, and if I print boy or girl and then run my program, I get false. For this to return true, one of your variable must be true. You understand? If one of your variable is true, then O is going to return true. But in a case whereby both of your variables are true, that means neither this nor this. So you're left with you're empty-handed. Neither this nor this. So O, it's not going to return true. As simple as that. So the next one is not. Not. So let's go ahead and check not. Not will return true if the operand is false. So for example, let's say boy For example, let's set boy to true, and let's set girls to false. If we say boy, not girl, and then run our program, sorry, we're getting an error. Sorry, we don't need to compare between two values. It's just it inverts a single variable. For example, I can just say boy, and if I print not boy, is going to say false. And if I change the value of boy to false, if I say not boy is true. So not is the simple among them. So if your value is true, if you say not boy, it will change to false. If your value is false, not is going to invert your value to true. If your value is true, not will invert your value to false. For example, let's say programming and set it to false. So if I say not programming, it's going to print true because the value is false. So it is inverting the value of this variable. So if I set programming to true, it's going to return false. So as simple as that. So to summarize, we have three logical operators in Python. We have AND, we have OR, and we have NOT. So for AND to return true, both of your operands need to be true. For OR to return true, one of your operand must be true. And then NOT is basically returning the inverse of whatever your variable is. If your variable's value is true, then it's going to invert it to false. If a variable's value is false, then it's going to invert it to true. So please, did you get the point? You guys should indicate in the chat section whether you get the point. Then we move on to this one assignment operators before we round up our class. Okay, some are saying you get the point. Yes, you get the point. Okay, wow, nice one. So well understood. Okay, I'm glad you guys understood. So next, finally, we have assignment operators in Python. For example, we have been using this one quite a while now. Assignment operator and equals. This is not an equal sign in programming. It's called assignment operator. For example, I can define a variable x and using this to assign it the value, let's say 40. This is basically called assignment operator. So we have another operator in Python, which is plus equal. So, and we have another one which is minus equal. And we have another one which is multiply equal. And we have another one which is just divide equal. And we have another one which is modulus. Sorry, divide equal. We have another one which is modulus equal. We have another one which is floor division equal. So they are just basically the normal Python operators, but with an equal sign. So we have not equal. So we have covered this one. And then we have greater than or equal, and we have also covered this one. So basically, let's do some examples with these ones. Let's create a triple string and then press them. So for example, let's say let's take this one for example. Let's say x and assign it the value 2. So if we want to add another value to this x, you need to say x is equals to x plus 2. So let's go ahead and print the value of x first and see our output. We are getting 4. The initial value of x is 2. So Python interpreter goes to the next line and then sees that x is equals to x, which is the initial value of 2, and then it added 2 to it. So assignment operators helps. There's another way of doing that using the assignment operator. So instead of doing that, you can just basically go ahead and do x plus equal 2. So let's go ahead and run our program, and we get 4 as well. So you can do x plus equal 5. If you print, you get 7. So what this is basically doing is like add this to this variable. And we can go ahead and do subtract. Let's change this value to 20, x minus equal 5, and you run the program. It's going to subtract 5 out of 20, and we get the output 15. So the same thing goes with multiplication. X times equal 5, then you get 100. So most advanced programmers prefer this operator than saying than doing something like x is equals to x times, let's say for example 2. So when you're reading other people's code, you're definitely going to come across this kind of syntax. So I think it's better for you to understand it now. People don't always use this type of syntax. They prefer using this type of syntax as well. So for division, you can do as well. Divide equal 5, and you get 4.0. So we know that if you divide 20 by 5, and we get the value 4. And same goes to exponentiation. If we run a program, we get 20 raised to the power of 5. It's 320 whatever thousand. So same goes with modulus, which returns the remainder. So is 0. We know that 20 divided by 5, there's no remainder. So what if we say 20 divided by 7? 6. The remainder is definitely going to be 6. So these are some of the assignment operators that we have in Python. So I think we have covered. Sorry, let me see. Yeah, there's another one which is identity operator in Python. I almost forgot that one. So we have 2 identity operators. But let me go to the chat section. I hope you guys understood this concept. Did you understand this concept, or do I need to take it one more time? Okay, if both operands are true, will the operator return true? Yes. If both of your operands are true, but it depends. If you're using, yes, if both of your operands are true, definitely it's gonna be true now. There's no false, so automatically it's true. It's only when you're using and then one of your operand is true and the other one is false, then you get false automatically, because for and to be true, both of your operands need to be true. So if you get the concept, let's go ahead to our last operators, which are the identity operators. So there are 2 identity operators. We have is, and we have is not. So just like plain English, you guess what this is definitely going to do. And you don't need to cram all this. Just know that they exist. And whenever you're creating any complex application that is going to be doing some complex mathematical calculation, then you're going to be using all these operators in order to achieve your goal. So just know that they exist. Know the concept behind them. You don't need to cram them. You don't need to memorize them. Whenever you want to use a concept like this, you just need to go and then use it, or you can search for them and then use it in your program. So for example, let's exemplify this and see. Let's say we have a variable x1, and then we assign it the value 5, and then we have a variable x2, and then we assign it the value 5 as well. So if we go ahead and print x1 is x2, let's run the program, we get true. The reason why we're getting true is, just like plain English, x1 is 5 and x2 so is 5. They are identical. So since they are identical, it's going to return true. So let's define another variable. Let's say word is equals to hello, and then define another variable, word 2 is equals to hello as well. So if we go ahead and print word is word 2, and then we run our program, we get true. So this is a string of hello, and word 2 is a string of hello. They are identical, so we are getting true. Okay, let's try is not, and then run our program, and we get false because word 1 is not word 2. By me looking at it, this hello is basically the same thing as this hello. So word 1 is not word 2, is definitely false, as simple as that. So, but there's a trick to that. Please, there's a trick to that. For example, let's define another variable, y, and assign it the value of a list. Let's say 1, 2, 3. And let's define another variable, z, and assign it the value of a list. So this is a list. This is another advanced data type in Python. So we are going to be covering them next tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be covering control structures in Python. So maybe if we have enough time, we're going to be covering list. So let's say 1, 2, 3. You guys know that both of these look the same. So let's go ahead and test. Print y is z, and then run our program. We get false. Let's print y is not z, and we get true. So you guys must be wondering, we printed hello and hello, we got true. We printed 5 and 5, which are both integers, and we got true. But y and z, they look identical. But why is it that we are not getting true, just like the previous ones? So whenever you create a list, this is actually a container. What happens is Python interpreter is going to store this location in memory and assign it the tag y. So, and Python interpreter is going to again store this in memory and assign it the tag z. So list is actually an advanced data type. So they are the same, they are identical, but their location in memory is different. The location that they are stored in memory is different. So that's why you're getting false. But unlike normal string, you get true because it just Python interpreter goes and checks that they are of the same data type, they are of the same value. It's going to give you true. But actually, these containers are the same, but the location that Python stores them is different. So that's why you're getting false. If you run your program one more time, you get false because basically their location are the same. So I think, yeah, we have another operator, which is membership operator, but we covered that in a previous class. For example, if you define a variable name and assign it the value Nuesa, and then if you go ahead and print n in name, sorry, n as a string, n in name, and if you run your program, you get true. So this is basically checking, is there the character n in Nuesa? You get true. So, and there's another membership operator, not in, n not in name. If you run your program, you get false because there's n in Nuesa. So I think I've covered pretty much like 99% of the operators that we have in Python. So I'm really happy that we got the chance to test them all. So if you guys have any problem or you guys have any questions to ask, please do ask. It put upon a true, okay?
Yeah, that was a really good one. I think we should take questions, then we call it for today since we are having a minute to join up to this class.
Okay.
Yeah, questions, please. If you have any questions, you can put your hand up and then we'll call you, unmute your mic and ask. And however, you can as well drop your questions in the chat box. Yeah, Dauda,
Please,
yeah,
you guys should.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I said you guys should really pay close attention to these operators and the ones we covered in our previous class, which are strings, how to slice strings, and then getting characters individually and using the slice operator by their indexes, string indices, because these are very, very tricky questions. For example, if you're doing an online Python test or exam, these are the type of questions that they use to trick you. You understand? These are basically the types of questions that they ask in order to verify that you guys really actually know the ins and outs of programming in general and Python in particular. So you guys should really, really pay attention because they might give you a variable boy and then just ask a simple question like not boy and then ask you, okay, what's going to be the value or the output? So they can trick you using all those operators and indices in Python. So you guys should really pay close attention. Once you get that concept, the rest of the concept are actually simple. So even if when you go to advanced level, it's not going to be hard for you at all. Okay, can you explain Boolean again? Boolean is a data type in Python. Is either true or false. So for example, you just get two values with Booleans. It's either true or false. For example, if you define a variable weather and set it to true, so if you check the value of weather, if it's true, it's gonna say true, or if it's false, it's gonna say false. For example, and if you like, you can define a variable and then assign it the value false. So definitely that variable is a Boolean variable. Or for example, in an exam, you can say the question and then ask true or false in an exam. You guys are students, you're familiar with true or false questions. So those are Boolean representation. Whenever you say true or false, it simply means Boolean. So any other question again?
Yeah, Dauda, unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes. So I just have two questions here. I've noted it down. So the first one is on this precedence, mathematical precedence on that you talked about. You said bracket is first.
Yeah, bracket is parentheses. Yes.
Yes, brackets, parenthesis is the number one in the level of precedence.
Yes, in the level of precedence, parenthesis is number one. Yes.
Followed by exponentiation.
Yes, followed by exponentiation.
Followed by multiplication and division.
Yes, multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction.
Okay, addition and subtraction.
Yeah.
Yes. So the next question is is there any other operators that do element-wise multiplication? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Element-wise, like if you have a list. Yes, like to do element-wise multiplication or element-wise division. Is there any operator for that?
I don't understand.
Okay.
Like
Yes,
how? Please,
like
can
this
you
list
know
that you
this?
just y equal to 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Z equal to 1, 2, 3 also.
Yes.
Is there any operator that can like do how do I element-wise multiplication, like this matrix multiplication?
Yes. You can loop through them and then you can do element-wise addition, multiplication, or division.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in our maybe next tomorrow we are going to cover lists. So we are going to be doing element-wise addition, multiplication. The reason why I don't want to cover list tomorrow is I want us to know conditional statements before jumping to list.
Okay.
Yes, you can loop through them. Do you know looping in programming?
No. I don't know looping.
So you can loop through each and every character and then you can manipulate it the way you want. You can just loop through them and then manipulate them, or you can use any of the operators and then perform any calculation in between the elements of that list, so far that their data types are the same. If it's numbers and numbers, it's okay. If it's string and string, it's okay.
All right.
Okay. So any other question?
No, thank you. That's all. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes.
And please practice.
Yes, sure.
Okay,
So
well,
any other?
thank you. None for the now. I think it is from this note that we come to the end of today's class.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. So tomorrow, same time, please let's try to keep the time so that we don't keep others waiting and we come at the same time and all of us keep at the same time. Thank you very, very much, sir. Irma, God continue to strengthen you and give you more grace to do more.
Okay. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.